So let's continue where we left off. So we just finished setting tabs for the first time, and it was important for us to view both of these little tables we created as two separate settings. Notice we have the ruler bar at the top of your screen as well as on the left hand side, and we were able to open up the ruler bar under the View tab on your ribbon. I'm going to go back to Home, and I'm going to select the first table that we set up, and that table we set up 4 left tabs. Originally it was at 1, 2, 3, and 4 inches. After we typed in our various colors, they were just random colors, using the tab key, and we typed tab and then blue, tab pink, tab red, tab gray. Then we hit enter and continued the same system. When we're finished, I asked you to take a serious look at your left and right margins using your ruler bar as a guide, and we checked the distance from the left edge of the paper to the first column with blue, turquoise, gold, and magenta, and compared it to the right hand side of the paper from the right edge to the word cardinal, and they're approximately the same. Not identical, but approximately. And to the eye, the left and right margins appear to be balanced, and the white space between each column pretty similar, and that's what we're looking for. We hit a couple enters, 3 enters, and we removed by pulling the tabs off the page. We removed the tabs, set new ones, this time using the tab selection button. The first one is the left tab. When I click on that, you can see the I need to be down in that work, the left tab. The second one is the center tab, right on the center of each word. And the right one, everything is aligned on the right tab. Once again, we moved these from the original settings to equal out the space between each of the columns, as well as keeping the distance from the left margin to the text and from the text to the right margin as close to identical as possible. So let's hit 3 enters, pull off the old tabs, and we're back to our default setting of every ½ inch. If I hit my tab key, you can tell it's stopping every ½ inch. This time I want to set just 2 tabs, and the first one is going to be a left tab, the little L, and I'm going to set that a little too quick on the trigger here. I'm going to set that, let's set it at 1½ inches, and then a decimal tab, which is like the upside down T with a dot. I'll set it at, let's set it at 4½. Alright, since we're practicing with tabs, we're going to start by hitting the tab key, and we're going to do some typical Central Catholic fees. Dollar amounts aren't accurate, but it'll give you an idea. So we're going to say it's $250 for your registration fee, and I'm using a period 00 for my decimal point. ASB fee, and we'll make that 200. Assemblies, clubs, activities, all those fun things that we do during the year, including your yearbook. And this one is, let's make this a book fee, book rentals, book purchases, and all that goes with that, $350. Let's do a bus pass. A lot of people have to ride the bus, and it's about, right now this year, $30 a month for 10 months. $300. And let's have a candy bar. Let's make it 75 cents. Notice when I use my decimal point, everything aligns. And last one I'll do is tuition. And we'll make this 11,300 or thereabouts this year. So on this one you can see the alignment is pretty darn good just from guessing. I'll check on the left. We're 1 inch in, 2 inches, 2.5 inches. On the other side, 1 inch in, 2 inches. It's actually about 2.5 inches. Not bad. Now, the question might be, is everything aligned where I want it, or should I bring it just a little closer? And sometimes with numbers, just a little bit closer. It's your call, but a little bit closer allows the eye to have a better possibility to check what you're doing. Just whenever there's numbers involved, you like to keep people on the correct line. You wouldn't want them to misunderstand a fee. So this is fairly easy here. Went smoother than I expected. So another way to check your work and placement on the page is to, up on your ribbon, go to the Home tab in the Paragraph group, and in the Paragraph group a very friendly button is what we call the Show Hide button. Looks like a paragraph marker your teacher would use to mark the beginning of a paragraph. The Show Hide button shows what you've been up to. Every arrow you see indicates you've hit your tab key. Every enter key, you get the paragraph marker, because in a typical document it assumes that you're going to begin a new paragraph. So that is specifically to go to a new line, and it's integrated with that paragraph marker. In addition, once in a while you find something isn't quite right. Maybe after the word steak here and I hit a couple space bars before I hit enter. That is not correct. It didn't impact the alignment of our text in this case, but whenever you see the ... and it doesn't belong there, it means you've been hitting space bars. Sometimes we do it up in our text and we're wondering, why in the world is this not lining up? Let me turn off Show Hide a minute, and it drives us crazy. What did we do wrong? Show Hide will show you what's wrong, so you can make that minor correction. No retyping. Sometimes we accidentally hit an extra tab key. The alignment's wrong. You wonder, why is my alignment wrong? Turn on your Show Hide. You'll see, oh, there should only be one tab. I bumped it twice. Eliminate that. So if you like having this feature on, you can leave it on. These characters are non-printing, so you can go ahead and print your document and these characters will not show. They're just there to show you, help you with alignment of your text. Shows tabs, space bars, and enter keys. So I'm going to turn that off for now. I'm going to go to our $11,300 just to the right of that and hit 3 enters, and now I am ready to do our last tab exercise. Instead of pulling the tabs off, I'm going to take us to a special menu so we can learn how to set tabs that have a few other functions, but also sometimes tabs just don't work. They're not perfect. The alignment isn't exactly where we want it, and we can't quite get it where we want it on the ruler bar. So to get a precise setting, and that's how we'll start, with a precise setting, you want to be on your Home tab, go to the Paragraph group, click on your paragraph launcher. Remember, the launchers open up more options. In this case, we'll look at the rest of this page at a later date, but right now we just want to go to the bottom left-hand corner for the Tabs menu. And the Tabs menu is, since my insertion point is below our list of fees, it's showing me what my tab settings were for these list of fees. As you can see, they are very specific, even though on my ruler bar I thought I was being pretty exact. It tells me the first one is at 1.69 inches. The alignment is left tab, and leaders, there are none. We'll get back to that in a second. When I click on the 4.38, I see that it's a decimal tab, and that's what we had up here. And once again, no leaders. And those are the two tabs. I'm going to clear those. I don't want those. And now we're back to our default tabs that are up here on the right hand side of the dialog box, and it's every ½ inch. So my tab stop positions, let's go ahead and set one at 1.33. I want it to be a left tab with no leaders, and I click a set button. The next one, I want it at 5.68, and I want to make it a right tab with leaders, and leaders are used to guide the eye. So there's dots, there's dashes, or a straight line. I'm going to use the dots and click set. And you can always go back and verify by just clicking on the first one in the larger box up here. 1.33 left, no leaders. 5.68 right tab with leaders. Once I'm satisfied, I click OK. And since we're practicing tabs, we're going to indent. And I'm just going to do my bell schedule. You can make one up or see what you remember from this spring. And notice when I hit that tab key, my leaders pop right up. That's because I set leaders with my second tab at 5.68. So let's get the bell schedule in here. And see if I can get this schedule finished out. Period 5. Period 6. And finally, period 7. Alright, there's a bell schedule. Not looking too bad, but I can see that my left margin is considerably wider than my right margin. And so to even that out, I'm careful to select, not any extra spaces, but selecting the table. You know, I had set very specific tabs, but now I can see they weren't good. So I'm going to move that out. And I'm going to move this one out. And the reason I'm moving it out is I do have the luxury of having the leaders, and the leaders help guide the eye, and guiding that eye usually keeps the reader on the same line. This is excellent for a table of contents. So if you're ever doing a project and need the table of contents, this works very well. Whereas with the numbers above here, you see that it is better to have the two columns closer together. So this completes some of our work. Remember, you've got the show hide. Shows you what you've done. Notice, started off with tabs, one tab in between, enter at the end. If we accidentally pull a tab off, sliding it around and moving it, and it falls off, and it looks like your work is destroyed. It is not. Just make sure you get back to whatever the tab setting was. In this case, it was a left tab, and place it where you want it. And because I use the tab key to move around, it'll self-correct. So, setting tabs correctly, selecting text when you want to make changes is important. Being careful how you select. If you're going back to normal tabs afterwards, you need to separate yourself from the work you've completed, pull the old tabs off, or go to your paragraph launcher. In the paragraph dialog box, going to the tabs menu allows you to go ahead and make any of the changes that you need. So at this point, this will end tabs review. Please go ahead and try your exercise and on your own, creating your own colors, your own menu, your own fee schedule. It's easier to use the one probably I've given, and then your bell schedule. So see if you can practice the various tabs, settings, and using the tabs menu.